On Facebook, we figured out that our numbers really well. We spend $43 to acquire a customer that pays $87 for the first time. But those $43, we already know that they become $250 at the end of the first year.
How much should they spend to acquire a customer?
It depends on the business. It's going to vary dramatically. If you can actually spend $20 to acquire a $20 purchase, you're winning, right? Even though you're losing money on that front end, you want to keep on nurturing those people. So the e-commerce guys, your number has to be based on your belief of being able to monetize that person along the way. And if you don't have systems in place, massive email nurtures, text messaging going on, other value going on, like you're doing blogs, you're doing things to keep people in your community, then YouTube might not be the right thing for you to do, right? It's almost like...
Yeah, if you just want it to be like very transactional. I want to spend, I want to make money, and that's it.
You know, like the way, the simple analogy that I can give you is, if you're going to sell a book, you ideally, unless you have an audience already, have to write the book first, right? It's hard to sell a book that you haven't written yet. Now, there's people that have massive audiences, and they'll say, oh, not in my case. I can pre-sell my book. Regularly, generally, most offers need to write their book, and then they promote it, right? This same thing applies over here. If you're going to do massive promotions to generate prospects, leads, sales, you better have the whole thing built out. Like, you need to have like channels ready to deliver value. Like, you build out 60 days of content and get ready to deliver that value to people, because that's what's going to get people to increase the lifetime value. I can tell you, on Facebook, we figured out that our numbers really well. We spend $43 to acquire a customer that pays $87 for the first time. But those $43, we already know that they become $250 at the end of the first year. So we already have our numbers. So you got to have your numbers very clearly established before you get going on this, because otherwise it's going to end up being a waste and a disappointment.
And then that number changes if we send the person to our phone room, not our website. Then that number, it's actually bigger. So,
absolutely.
You know, we know we can spend more to just generate a phone call, which we don't actually spend that much, not $40-something. So yeah, you got to know your numbers.
Yeah, and then you have all other bigger ticket items, thousands of dollars that, you know, you got to have those numbers clear. You got to generate prospects, give them a free evaluation, give them you can do the demo, what you can do for them. You can maybe somehow connect with them a little bit more. And if you can close one out of these 50 people or one of these 20 people, and you paid, let's say, $10 a lead, then you're making money. You're winning, right? So it's all about the numbers, and it dramatically varies from person to person. It's not equal across the board, right?
Yes. Also, one other thing that Manuel always says when I ask him, like, well, what should our budget be? What should I tell them? And the more you can spend, the faster you'll get there, is another answer to that.
Right.
To your budget. There's
some people that say, was it Grant Cardone or was it Russell Brunson, that you win, the one that spends the most is the one that wins the game,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So at the end of the day,
obviously, the one who can pay the most to acquire the customer wins.
Correct. So it's not like to acquire the customer. That's actually phrased correctly. The one that can spend the most to acquire a customer, that's the one that wins the game usually. All right? When there's competition.